Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
I think we are live now. Hey, Sam, how are you?
I'm good, Marshall. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, Business Inner Circle members, Business Inner Circle fam. Don't you love when people say fam
Fam,
in
Fam Jam.
Instagram, fam jam,
The cool,
Instagram, Facebook?
the cool kids.
The cool,
Cool kids.
that's it. Cool kids, Business Inner Circle cool kids. We are live with another member spotlight. We are with the Queen Cool Kid.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
I wouldn't say
what would you say, Sam?
that. The Queen VA, the Queen Virtual Assistant. I wouldn't say I'm the
Oh,
Queen Cool Kid, though. I feel like I'm a little
right.
bit old to be the cool kid these days.
Never too old. You are pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, let's find out how cool you really are.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. So, first off, for all you people watching live or the replay, doesn't really matter. Get your questions in for Samantha because she is going to, we're going to go deep. We're going to find out learn a little bit about her journey into entrepreneurship, a little bit about herself personally, and maybe you can give us a little bit later some sort of tips, that kind of stuff to help us. Because I know you're all about serving your clients.
I am.
What I love about you. So, but first, what do you do? No, you know what? Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Sam. That's who I am. I'm Samantha, and personally, I'm a South African, born and raised in South Africa. I now live here in beautiful British Columbia with my first responder husband, my daughter, and my 4 fur babies. On the professional side, I am a virtual assistant. I feel like there's a bit of a lingo now, virtual assistant / online business manager. It's very fluid again, different terms for different things. At the end of the day, I help people manage their tasks, projects, and strategic planning so that they can get back to what they need to be doing to run their businesses.
Right. How long have you been doing that?
How long have I known you? 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, full-time 3 years. Full-time 3 years.
So, your daughter, how old?
She is 10, going on 16.
Enjoy the ride.
Never. Do you know firsthand, Marshall? You know first.
Was 21. They're good though, right? They're good kids.
Yeah. Oh, I love her. She's a big part, of my inspiration of not just doing, that grind, that corporate grind of having a job just to pay the bills. When you look at your kids, you want them, you're going to be working for a hell of a long time when you're an adult. Do something that you love, do something that's going to nourish your soul, nourish your values. And it's a big part of why I do what I do.
I like that.
She's still a pain in my butt, though, but I love her lots. I love her lots.
That's what kids are for, being a pain in the butt, but we love them lots. They keep us on our toes, and they keep us young-ish at times, not so much.
Some days I feel a little old, but yeah, kids help us and remind us just to enjoy things.
Yeah. Why did you start your business?
There's kind of like the why and the how combined. During COVID, wonderful COVID, I lost my job. I had an injury, a pretty traumatic injury, and I lost my job. And I had people coming from my network saying, Sam, I've loved doing business with you in the past. You've been a colleague of mine, etc. Come and help me in my business. And that's how it started. And I never had to look for, quote unquote, a real job since. Trial and error, to find my niche. But the why really stood out then is I have an ADHD background in my career. I have done business development, events planning, office management. My education is in hospitality management. I've really done it all. I've owned several businesses. And by helping people, I was able to pull on different strengths from my background. And that really became like my what, how, and why is I didn't have to do the same repetitive tasks every day. I get to use all the exciting things that I've learned to help people strategize, and look after their tasks and projects.
So would you consider yourself an accidental VA?
An accidental business owner, yeah.
Business owner or a business owner,
So
yeah.
I've always, before we moved to Canada, obviously, being an immigrant in, in a new country, I worked horrible jobs. I wouldn't say horrible. They put, food on the table. But in South Africa, I was actually a franchise owner and I owned a baking business. So working for myself was always been a priority. And in Canada, it took me a long time to get there. So yeah, accidentally became a business owner again.
And how long have you been in Canada?
10 years. It'll be 10 years this December.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time flies. So it took me 7 years to become, so it's never too late. It took me 7 years in Canada working to get to my business. Yeah.
Well, you're young, so it's but still never too late. Youngish.
Young.
So I'm curious. So tell us, like, two questions, I guess. Who do you serve, and how do you serve them? How do you help them?
Great question. I serve a variety of business owners, leaders, etc. I serve people who feel, I wouldn't say stuck in their business. They just have so much on their plate that it's taking away from what they love. I always tell people we start our businesses and we forget that we have all these departments within our business. We've got admin, marketing, finance, etc. So I meet with people who are just like, I cannot do it all. I'm tired of doing it all. I want to quit. I'm burnt out. I don't love what I'm doing. And how I serve them firsthand is going in and saying, whoa, calm down. Let's take a breath. First of all, we make sure we're a good fit for each other. And I kind of do this mapping with them. Give me everything that's on your plate that you don't love doing, that you don't have, they don't have the funds for full-time staff, etc. So just give me everything. Not too big or too small. And I slowly start building these plans for them. And you'll see that a lot of the times these tasks become one project. And then we just start, knocking the ball out of the park and moving business forward.
So you said something a few minutes ago. You said they have to be a good fit both ways.
Yeah, both ways.
What are you looking? I'm just curious. What are you looking for in a client to make sure that they are a good fit for you?
Yeah. So for me, it's not really, first of all, I help any sort of business. So it doesn't matter what your business is, of course, as long as it's a legal business, etc.
Yes.
I've got clients in all different, different countries, different industries. For me, it's somebody who obviously has, for me, off the bat, has a good sense of humor, can laugh at themselves, etc. Personality-wise. Business-wise, I want people who are, open to feedback, open to moving things forward, open to a new way of doing things and saying, listen, this is where I am. What I'm doing is obviously making my wheels spin. I need help. Somebody who wants a partnership. What I don't like is people who are just, that nitpicky. I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm always open to feedback. I think that is how we grow. We have to, and it's not my business, it's your business. So I need to do things that align with you. So what I don't like in someone is in a business is, that nitpicky, somebody who's grumpy, is just looking for all the wrong in everything and doesn't have that vision of moving their business forward. Does that answer your question? I feel like I went on a bit of a tangent there. Yeah.
No, it does. I mean, I'm the same way. Have you had a client that you thought was like that, or it was a good fit and it wasn't?
So obviously I'm not going to name names.
No.
Yeah, I think during that discovery call, you can get really excited. I've got a big personality, you know that, Marshall. Like, I can get people pretty excited. I'm like, this is the plan. They're like, whoa, great, we're a good fit. You're thinking what I'm thinking. And then within the first 2 weeks, you're like, whoa, this is not what, this is not the feeling we had. So you really shouldn't go off of like that excitement feeling. You really need to take those notes in your discovery call and be on paper with emotions aside. is this going to be a good fit? What is your culture? What are you looking for in a person? And then does that match with what I'm doing and vice versa?
That's really interesting that you said that. I agree. Like I'm with you on that. Because I think especially at the beginning, a lot of new entrepreneurs, they fall in love with just getting a client. And
We've all been there,
we've
Marshall.
all been there. And not just clients, trust me, staff. Like I've done that too. I was like, oh my God, this person's amazing. And you kind of put the blinders on to some of the other things. And because you found someone who you think is a great fit or has the experience or whatever it is, if it's an employee, and it just doesn't work. You find out afterwards and find out the hard way. It's interesting, actually. My daughter went to an event last night on I don't remember what the subject was, but it was about dating and getting to know people and all that kind of stuff. And the person who led the discussion said, do not fall in love with love. That's the biggest mistake people have with relationships is they fall in love with the idea of love. And that's very similar when you normally I wouldn't talk about that, but it's exactly what you're saying. Don't fall in love with the idea of this magic moment that you've had, because it could take you down.
Yeah, and that goes to, I actually have a free resource. It's how, a discovery call template for interviewing a virtual assistant. So this is from the business owner aspect, and it's a 12-step of this is what you need to do to make sure that you're hiring people for fit for what you need. Not just being like, hey, Sam, hey, Marshall, oh, we've got so much in common personally, we've got the same birthday, wow, I'm just, putting out stupid stuff. It's really following the list. So at the end of the day, when you've interviewed 4 people, yeah, in your gut feeling, there's always gut feeling, Sam might be a better fit, this person might be a better fit. It has to match what's on paper and what that person's personality is. And I think we've all been, especially with high paying clients, it's easier to be like, well, they're a really good fit because they're paying premium fees. But as much money as you take, you don't want to be miserable when you're working with somebody.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So you kind of answered this a little bit before, but I'm going to ask it again. The why. Like, really, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do for a couple of different reasons. Personally, I like being employed by myself, even though it's super stressful. There's at times it's super stressful. What's that joke? You leave your 9 to 5 to work a 9 till 9, and you've coached me to get out of that routine, which I'm really grateful for. I do it so that I can, if I want to have lunch with my husband or lunch with a friend, I don't have to speak to a boss. I've got that freedom, right? And you still have to create that freedom. So it's taken me 3 years to allow myself to be, hey, this is my business. Should be able to take off when I want to. I should be able to do these things. And sometimes we're a little hard on ourselves. So my why really is having a first responder husband. I need to be a parent on duty most of the time. He gets called in, he does, emergency response and all of that too. So my why is not having to be like, oh, I've got to take off. So that's my why. Business wise, I really love helping people. At my core, I love to serve people. So my why with business is I posted something yesterday where 1 in 5 businesses shut down within their first year. And of course, the economy and all of that. But what happens if I could help somebody and, get them with a good bookkeeper, get them, all the people they need to, how can I help them succeed?
Yeah.
So you might be good at X, but you're not so good at all of the others. I can help you. I can help with a plan. I can help project planning. I can help move your business forward and keep you loving what you love. And if I can't help you, I've got an arsenal of people behind me that I can recommend that can help.
So getting to, I knew that about you. I want people in the group to know that about you, because it's rare. I mean, it's just being of service and caring, right? What about how do you deal with, and this is part of the entrepreneurial roller coaster, right? Especially in a service based business. You meet someone, you really want to work with them because you really believe you can help them and that they need your help. But there's resistance on their end due to I don't have the money to, we hear that. I will hire you when.
Mm.
How do you is there some way that you work through that with them, or you just say, okay, now's not the time, and you move on, or what would you say? Because there's a huge benefit, and I guess that's part of the two-part question of hiring you versus hiring an employee. There's a huge benefit, although it costs more maybe on the hourly thing. It really doesn't. So just speak to me about all of that.
So employer and outsourcing, we don't have time for that conversation today, but I come from a very strong business development background too. So relationships are my world. When somebody has that resistance, it all depends. You've got to gauge where they really are. If it really is a budget thing and hey, sometimes I would say if it really is a budget thing, we can start at X amount and in 3 months we can check. Or if they're really just out of my budget, I can say, hey, I have a junior assistant that I know that is X, because you pay for experience, right? I don't think any of us should be ashamed for what we charge for X. And it's an investment. It's not a charge. It's an investment. I can introduce you to this person. They're wonderful. They can help you out. Okay. No, I really want somebody with you. Then I would sit them down. If I could meet them in person, great. If not, I share my screen. I get a whiteboard going up where I make notes. What is the cost of not hiring someone? So whether it's sleepless nights, losing customers, not getting product going, finances, just you're not invoicing properly, you're not, chasing invoices, so you're not getting paid. It's just a mess. And you're actually losing more money by putting everything on the back burner than by investing. And, when you contract someone, it doesn't have to be forever. I do month to month with most of my clients. So let's do a month. Let's see where we can get you in a month. Let's do 3 months. And in 90 days, let's get you to X. So it's all about building trust. You can trust me. These are my expertise. And sometimes you got to go slow. If they're still not ready, they're hey, let me think about it. I'll see bits of information that I can send them. Yep, you're not hiring me, but I really saw this gap. This is a great tool you need to implement. So it's all that knowledge expert and just showing them that you care.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, you're preaching to the choir, and there are people who are watching this, maybe not live, maybe the replay, but I know there's tons of people, and most business owners, small business owners, who do suffer from doing too much and things that they're not really good at, and it's draining them, or they put off things, or they're doing them the wrong way. And they could definitely use someone like yourself and looking at their, I always work with my clients. I try to help them look at their business differently. And it's the same thing, right? It's look at it differently from the leader perspective and do what you are really good at the beginning. We've got to learn the ropes. You got to figure it out. But then at some point you need to relinquish control. I've told the story before. When I started my sign business back in 1994, cue the harp. I did the book.
10. I was 10 in 1990.
Okay, stop it. Okay, this is over. We're done. No,
we're done.
I was 12. I started young.
Newspaper.
And yeah, I did my own books. I taught myself. I did it every week. I would go in on a Saturday or Sunday, and I would just do it. And I actually enjoyed the beginning because it was my baby and it was fun. And I wasn't. I didn't know it. I took accounting in university, one class, but it became a drain. I didn't have kids or anything, and then my accountant came to me and said, after 1 year, said, "We're getting a bookkeeper."
Yeah.
Because I was doing things wrong, and I was drained, and it allowed me to free up my time to work on. So
true. And you've taught us that, Marshall, you need to be, are you the employee or are you the leader? And I think sometimes it's a control issue, right? Yeah. You want to have control because you've come from this toxic work environment, or you're burnt out and you've worked with horrible people and you're scared to outsource. You don't know how to outsource. And you're going to have to trust someone somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's a conversation. It's just a conversation you have, what are you doing that you don't love? What is draining you?
Yeah.
What is draining you? Yeah.
100%. But I think there's a huge opportunity. Like I know, um, like in your industry, I think, and I've said this to you, I think before, I think there's a lot of confusion or with small business owners. They've heard of VAs, but they don't really know how they can help or how you can help them. So I wanted to have you on here because you can help them. I mean, you could just take off all those things that drain them and or they're not that good at, and allow them to focus on growing their business and doing what energizes them.
And that's where my second resource comes in. So these are free resources too, Marshall, and they're on my website, whatever. And I don't even ask for an email. You just take it and you download it. The second one is 100 tasks you can outsource to a virtual assistant.
That's
And
awesome.
that's just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come in and they're like, I don't even know where to start, Sam. I don't even know what you're capable of. I don't even know what I'm capable of. It's just too much. And this list of 100 things, it's just, oh, wow, I can outsource this. I can outsource that. And you get virtual assistants that specialize in different areas.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So before we go today, I want you to, oh, actually, no, one question first. One of my favorite questions. If you could talk to, I mean, I know you've been in this business for 3 years. You've had others before, and you said you were a franchise organization back in South Africa. If you could talk to the young Sam and tell her what you know now, and to all the other young Sams out there, what would you tell them and yourself?
Yeah, I was a hot mess, a young Sam. This is more of just life in general. It kind of get your stuff together earlier. I know we focus on living your 20s, being free. I would rather get things in order when you're younger so that you can enjoy the later years. Like the youth is wasted on the young, like being free. I think if you can go back and just find your passion sooner, and it doesn't matter, you can be anything, just find your passion, and take advice from people that fit your values. I think when we're younger, so many people, in my day, I was XYZ, and you need to do this. It's so overwhelming, and it sets you up for failure when those opinions don't fit with your own. So I would say, find your passion young, and it could change, find your passion young and surround yourself with people who are going to move you forward and hype you up and are going to be mentors in your life. And I've got friends who are in their 20s. I've got friends who are in their 70s, different mentors and friends for different reasons in your life. So I would go back, like, get out of the clubs, get out of the bars, and get into business so that you can, set yourself up so that you can enjoy yourself later on in life.
I'm gonna send this video to my son who just turned 19. He just became legal because he's in Ontario University. So I'm gonna teach, get out of the clubs.
Ontario at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. And so he just became legal there yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, at least he's in university and he's living.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like I don't have a degree. I have a diploma. I don't have a degree. And it doesn't mean you're not worth your worth.
I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree either. I have a diploma.
Yeah, I think people just really get, how many jobs have we not got, corporate jobs, whatever, because we don't have a degree.
Yeah.
Learn a skill, ignite your passion, and find really good people to walk your walk with you. Yeah.
That's yeah. I think
that's it. I can retire now, Marshall.
I think we're done. I mean, okay. So the only thing is, if the last thing, because that's like gold, I'm gonna have to watch that part again. If you could tell us how, you could post it in the comment below. Right, people want to get in touch with you, get a hold of you. How can they find you?
Yes. So my home address is. I'm Samantha Jane on Facebook. Samantha at everythingsidekick.com. It's my email. It's a mouthful. I'll also post my website down, and I encourage people to download those free resources. It's got nothing on me. Like, I don't take your email address. I'm not giving you a sales pitch. It's just to start planning. Hey, I'm overwhelmed. I need help. Discovery call, know-how template, and 100 tasks that you can outsource to somebody else that you can get back to what you love.
Love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. It has been an honor having you here today. And
Thank you. It's only been 3 years that we've known each other.
I know, and we finally got to do this. So I'm so happy. So thank you,
Thank you,
Sam.
Marshall.
And shame on the rest of you who haven't seen this, because you're not going to say here that I said that because you're not watching it. But shame on you. There's a lot of stuff here. There really is a lot of stuff here, that a lot of golden tidbits that Sam shared and tips. So watch it, and reach out to Sam. If you want to be also featured like Sam here as a member spotlight in the Business Inner Circle, just reach out to me. But we'll see you next time with another member spotlight. Have an amazing week, amazing month, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks, Marshall.